Welcome to the New York City Half Marathon Expo. Welcome to your race week edition of On the Run. I'm Rob Powers from Channel 7 right here in New York City. Coming up on today's episode, a story that really brings our theme to life, more than a run. You're going to hear about Superstorm Sandy recovery efforts on Staten Island, and we will talk running. Plenty of running as we get ready for Sunday's big race, the New York City Half Marathon. Rob Powers, Todd Williams, Carla Bruning, Carrie Tollefson, ready to go. On the Run is on the air. The New York City Half Marathon gets going this Sunday, March 17th, through the streets of New York City. But quite frankly, the four of us just couldn't wait to talk about this race. So we're going to start right now. Todd, what do you look forward to?
Amazing race. 19 Olympians, 4 Olympic and World Championship medalists, and 12 men that have run sub 102. So you're looking at the deepest field in the world for a half marathon, and I think it's going to be a really, really fast time and potentially going after the course record on Sunday.
Carrie, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I think the biggest story this weekend is 38-year-old Bernard Lagat. He is the track star, and we all know him as that, but he's going to run 13.1 miles on the roads here in New York City. It's going to be pretty exciting.
How will that transition? That's one of the storylines.
And this year it's also about more than a run, and we have some great human interest stories that really illustrate that too.
So let's break it down just a little bit more for you in graphic form. Over 15,000 runners will take to the streets of New York City this Sunday from 49 states and 69 countries. 19 Olympians are in this year's field, 2,800 runners running for charity. And of course, this year, the New York City Half Marathon is more than a run. So much more than a run. Everyone is running for some reason, for themselves, for personal times, for charities, or to win the race. Carla, you ran into somebody special who's really running for a special cause.
Yes, Michelle King Gonzales has a great story. She's a mom, she's an Iraq War veteran, and she's done some really wonderful things in her Staten Island community for hurricane relief. And I had a chance to sit down with her.
One of about 15,000 stories for Sunday's race.
Staten Island native, Army veteran, West Point graduate, and mother of 2, Michelle King Gonzales is no stranger to adversity, and she's used to running to help see her through the worst of it. So Michelle, you started running when you were in the Army, and you did 3 deployments in Iraq. What was your motivation to keep running while you were there?
Running for me while I was deployed was kind of like a part of my home that I brought with me. I was stationed in Baghdad. I was one of the people that would be out running in 115, 120 degree weather. Being in the military, we were always told to plan for the worst, always have everything in line in case the worst does happen.
It was that combat zone experience in Iraq that prepared Gonzales for disaster at home. Hurricane Sandy was the second costliest hurricane in U.S. history, inundating New York City with water and devastating areas like Staten Island with a storm surge of 14 feet.
No one dreamed it would be what it turned out to be.
We packed up a good portion of our house and we went to my sister's. Cars on top of cars, homes that totally wiped out, that were standing, just hours before, that were no longer standing.
How the ocean wound up a mile or 2 away in people's homes is beyond imagination. So dark, and the loss of life here on the island, very sad. All the furniture that was here was just floating. The doors to the utility room were literally cut in half.
Once again, Gonzales turned to running for solace and hosted a virtual race online to raise money for the relief effort. Hundreds of runners across the country took part.
We ended up raising just under $11,000. I had people from other countries that participated even though they weren't even eligible to win one of the prizes.
And you used CrowdRise as your fundraising platform?
Yes.
This is totally brand new. Look at this. Yep. I'm very proud of her. Yes, I guess. Thank God for all 4 of my daughters and grandchildren, because I don't think I could have made it through without them.
You know, for a lot of people that look forward to the marathon every year to come out to cheer, because of the time that it was at, that did not happen. And so, you know, I think a lot of people are going to look to this race this year as the time to run through the streets of the city. And I think it's going to be a wonderful day.
Hurricane relief and recovery efforts continue on Staten Island and elsewhere. We urge you to get involved, much the same as the New York Roadrunners are involved. And we are joined at the desk now by New York Roadrunners CEO and President Mary Wittenberg and Dr. Jordan Metzl. Doctor, you organized something that was really special on what would have been race day, marathon day.
Well, thank you. I am actually a sports medicine doctor by day at Hospital for Special Surgery. When the marathon was canceled, it was not just me. A group of running friends and I put together a group a couple hours after the marathon was announced to be canceled. And we called ourselves New York Runners in Support of Staten Island. The idea was we were going to mobilize runners and get them to go to Staten Island and go to the relief areas. Now, most of us had not spent much time in Staten Island, and we spent a lot of time figuring out how we're going to get everybody there. We thought we'd get about 300 people, and we made a Facebook page. We ended up getting close to 3,000 people whom we instructed. It was really amazing. We instructed them to kind of wear orange and fill backpacks with different things that we told them through social media. So Facebook and Twitter were really important for us to try and get the word out. And the amazing thing for us was when we got to Staten Island Ferry Terminal Sunday morning, there were almost 3,000 people from all over the world, and they were all dressed in orange with backpacks filled with different supplies that we told them to get. All there, we filled 2 ferries, and when the ferry boats opened on the other side, on the Staten Island side, and you just saw this whole river of orange heading down towards the relief zones, it was really, really powerful.
If you remember that time in New York City, it was not easy to get to Staten Island, and some people were here for the very first time. Just they were visitors to our city. Just the goodwill that came from the running community that day.
I mean, a couple things. First of all, we thought, well, what do we have? We have good hearts and
Right.
we have legs, and we have legs that are ready to do the marathon. So we basically thought we'll get everybody to run, and we looked at the distances. It was anywhere from 12 to 14 to 16 miles. And just the spirit of camaraderie. Runners are the most generous people always. And just to have people from all over the world showing up, many of whom had never been to America, never been to New York, and this was their first experience here. And our whole group's experience, people were coming up to us afterwards and saying, hey, listen, we thought we'd be running the marathon on First Avenue about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. We have spent the whole day digging out houses and helping deliver aid, and this is more meaningful than any race we've ever done in our lives. So it was just really a powerful and meaningful day for all of us.
I'm trying to picture the scene of an army of 3,000 people in orange coming off the Staten Island ferry.
It was 2 ferry boats. What we did is, using social media, we were able to kind of subdivide into different groups and figure how far do you want to go, and we had route maps on Map My Run. So it was actually amazingly organized, and the whole team that I work with, a whole group of running friends, all of whom have different day jobs, and it was just a really incredible and meaningful experience.
Making the best out of a horrible situation, but you did that, and you must be proud as well to have them under the banner of the New York Roadrunners to aid in the recovery effort.
It was really amazing. Runners, to Jordan's point, really stood up on Marathon Sunday and provided the city what we needed this year, which was something very different than 26.2 miles through the streets the way we normally run it. What was incredibly uplifting was that throughout the city, the Central Park had 10, 20,000 runners out there running their own marathon, and many of these groups set up charity funds and raised money for relief efforts. Then Jordan crew that I was lucky to be with were in Staten Island, and I'll tell you, all you had to do was be in Midland Beach or any of those streets to see very clearly that where runners needed to be on Marathon Sunday was in these places that were hardest hit.
When I think of Mary, I think of how do you do it all? I mean, and then just on the elite side, I guess since I came up in the 90s, I never got the opportunity to come up here and run in one of your events or the New York Roadrunners events. But that's my question. I mean, how do you do it on the elite side?
So this year's especially intriguing with the trio of Bernard Lagat stepping up to his longest run ever in the half, and the pros of in the distance of Dathan Ritzenhein and Abdi Rahman as our Americans, and then Wilson Kipsang, London Marathon winner.
Just touching on Bernard, I mean, I think this is one of the most anticipated, up in distances that we've seen in years. So, when I got on the plane 2 days early to get up here, because I'm excited for this elite field on the men's and women's side, but to see what happens between the Kipsang and the Lagat and the shorter distance guys and the long distance guys, it's going to be one fantastic race. I'm excited.
It's going to be great. And on the women's side, Kim Smith comes back after talk about aggressive. She's so strong, and she just pushes for the win from the beginning. And last year, you remember, she led virtually the whole way until getting past in the final straight away. So it'll be really interesting. I don't think the answer for Kim, I don't expect her to sit back, but we'll see. Can anyone keep up with her?
It's going to be a great day.
This is what is so great about our city and our area. We bring together the competition for race day, and we match that with the indomitable spirit and the good-hearted people of this area, and it all comes together on race day. Let's take a look right now at the magic that is the New York City Half Marathon. This Sunday, 15,000 runners from all walks of life, professionals, first-timers, and charity runners alike, will converge upon New York City to celebrate their passion for running and take in the iconic scenery of one of the most diverse cities in the world. Central Park, Times Square, the Hudson River, and Wall Street play host to the 13.1-mile journey through the heart of this city. But the NYC Half is more than just a run. It's about helping runners overcome personal challenges, aid in the city's recovery in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, raise money for charity, and of course, run their personal best. It's about uniting world-class athletes and the first-time half marathoners in a community that strives to rise above the competition. For many, running is about perseverance, teaching yourself to conquer just about anything, whether it's a personal hurdle or those last few miles. And the running scene has no shortage of runners who love to share that spirit of tenacity with as many people as they can. This year's race brings together runners from all over the world, offering them, their family, friends, and fans the opportunity to get involved, give back, and most of all, have fun. Make it more than just a run at this year's NYC Half. 15,000 runners, 15,000 stories, but some of the most compelling will be running at the head of the pack. Today, we're talking about the men elite runner. So let's run down a few of the guys you're going to hear about on Sunday morning. Wilson Kipsang, Bernard Lagat, Abdi Rahman, Dathan Ritzenhein, Jason Hartman, Sam Shalanga. Now, with more on each of our elite runners, we bring in one of our elite runners, Todd Williams. Break it down for us.
I mean, those runners you mentioned are fantastic, and their credentials, I could talk about them all day, but I'll just touch on a brief few for the six that we've mentioned. We've got Wilson Kipsang from Kenya, the 31-year-old. He was a 2012 London champ. Followed that up with a 2012 Olympic bronze medal. Bernard Lagat, USA, 38 years old, making his debut at the half marathon distance. Also, I always look at what guys are doing now, and he broke the American 2-mile record at Melrose running 8:09, so he's definitely ready to go and he's fit. American 4-time U.S. Olympian Abdi Rahman, the 36-year-old, he's been around forever. He says he's fit, he's getting ready for the Boston Marathon, and you're going to see some great things from him on Sunday. Dathan Ritzenhein, last year he was here, he finished in about 12th place last year, so we need to watch him because he's definitely fitter this year than he was last. He's a 3-time Olympian, and I think you're going to see good things out of him. Following those four will be Sammy Shalanga, the Kenyan, the 28-year-old with a 101.19 PR. He was 5th here last year. And another American that we got to keep our eye on is Jason Hartman, a 32-year-old University of Oregon grad, trains in Boulder, and I think he can do some good things. And he's looking to get under the 103 mark so he can have a good performance come the spring marathon.
Such a strong field there.
Very strong. Very strong field.
And along with the strength of the elite runners come the stories that come along with the elite runners. Carrie, you were able to spend some time this week with one of those special stories.
Yeah, I got to spend some time with the long-time running Bernard Lagat, who seems to continue to PR, set new personal records, and kick butt along the way. So I can't wait to see him run on Sunday.
A lot of people looking forward to him and everyone else. But for right now, let's focus on Bernard and Carrie.
New York City knows him as the king of the Wanamaker Mile and the champion of the 2011 Fifth Avenue Mile. But all eyes will be on this 38-year-old when he makes one of the most anticipated half marathon debuts of all time, right here at the NYC Half.
All right, Bernard, you're here for the NYC Half in New York City, and everyone on the track knows you, but this is new. You're on the roads this time. So give us a little bit about your background anything that we need to know about Bernard Lagat?
You know, I think people have seen me in track and field for a long time, running the 1500 and then the mile, 5,000 meters and 3,000 meters. So now, people now, I guess, wondering, hey, this guy is moving up in the distance. How is he going to do? And that's also the question that is in my mind too. It's going to be my first time, and I'm just thinking, well, I don't even know how it's going to turn out, but you know, I'm going to give my best.
You've won the Wanamaker Mile 8 times. Now you set another American record here.
Yes.
What does that feel like?
It feels so good, especially coming to New York. When I'm running in the roads like the Fifth Avenue Mile, everyone goes, "Go Bernard!" And then, you know, you just go to the Milrose Games, the same noise, and it's really special because I come to a city that appreciates what I do. My expectation is to do well. Time-wise, I think I hope I can run something called 60:00 something.
Hey, okay.
So that would be really great.
Wilson Kipsang, that's the guy that we're all kind of looking at. I mean, he's run 58.
Yes, that
Something,
58,
you know? I
yes.
mean, he's fast. So what do you think about?
What I'm going to do is, I know a lot of guys will be taking off, and Wilson is known for doing that. Remember the Olympics in the marathon, he had like about 2-minute gap, but I'm going to use his strategies where he will be running fast and still be in the pack. That's what I hope my body will feel good to do that in the race itself. And I think, you know, whatever it comes down to, hopefully I get my time. Or if all goes really well, hey, why not win it? So that would be the best.
That would be great. What
Yes.
happens to Bernard if you do win it and you have a great experience? Is 26.2 miles in the future?
It's very likely. Very likely. If I do well, why not even do something like that at the end of this year?
How do you keep going, Bernard? I mean,
Staying young.
you look so young
Thank
and your
you.
attitude is so great. Like,
You know what? And that is the best part of it. You know, I guess for me, I'm 38, and I'm not denying that fact. All my training partners are young guys, except the old man Abdi. You know, but I'm still 2 years older than him.
Yeah.
So I'm just basically like them.
well, it's contagious. You know, I think your fans
Absolutely.
and all your competitors enjoy who you are and what you do. So thank you very much for taking time to be with us today.
Thank you very much, Kerry. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And now we get into the meat and potatoes of the elite running field for this year's New York City Half Marathon. Wilson Kipsang, Bernard Lagat, thank you very much for joining us. And this is where I sit back and just enjoy your work, Todd Williams.
You know, and when I look at this race, I think about you moving up in distance, but also all the accomplishments that you've had in New York City. 10 Milrose victories and, Fifth Avenue Mile. What is it about New York?
You know, there's something about New York that every time I come over here, it's exciting. And of course, the fans know about the track and field. They know about the sports on the road and everything like that. So it's actually a special feeling when you come in here, when people appreciate what you do. And the support that we get is amazing.
As far as the preparation, I know when I was running back in the day, I don't think the normal runner understands what you have to go through day in and day out, especially you have your family, all the work that you have to put in to get to a day like Sunday.
Right. You know, there's a lot of sacrifices that we have to make. And of course, without the support of the family, it's always hard to, to get to get the best out of, your training or even competitions. And so I've been lucky that way. Of course, with the fans, of course, supporting us. So the preparation is always normal. You know, when we train for something else like track and field or World Championship or Olympics, it's the same as training for a longer event like the half marathon. You have to dedicate yourself 100%.
And I must ask this question, is when you're getting ready for a race like this, do you have all the runners in front of you and say, this is the guy that I'm looking at?
Absolutely. In fact, as we speak right now, I'm looking at Wilson Kipsang. It's funny how, like in Olympics, I saw him, I watched the entire Olympics on TV, and the way he took off from the front, and I was telling myself, this guy is hitting like some low 5 minutes, per mile, and it was amazing, and I could not understand even how somebody can cope for that long. So now, here's the man I'll be running against, and it's going to be really fun.
And in saying that, Wilson, when you pick out the field, who is your guy that you're keying on for Sunday's race?
I think that the guy which I really will be looking at is, despite the fact that he will be doing his debut in half marathon, I think he's fast enough to cope with the pace.
Okay, as far as you coming up in distance, you dominated the 1,500 meter, the 3,000, the 2 mile, the 5,000, and now you're stepping up in distance. And your biggest competitor over there, Wilson Kipsang, is stepping kind of down in distance. I mean, he's had super success running sub 59 minutes for the half, but this is kind of two worlds meeting together in the middle. What's your thoughts on that?
My initial thought is that, it's easier for somebody like Wilson to step down because, he has done the training for the big thing. And for me now, I've been doing the training for the 5,000, 1,500 meters, but I'm stepping like maybe 3 times more, even sometimes 5 times more than normal. And for him, he's coming down. So it's like for me running 800 meters when I'm a miler. But for him, it's going to be an easy day. But for me, it's a stretch. But I'm going to be doing my best.
Now, do you think it's going to be an easy day?
Easy day.
No, I think, for my friend, Lagat, yes, he has been doing the mile, the 5,000 and maybe the 10,000 very fast. But what really matters a lot on his side is the endurance part. But if you try also to compare the speed for the half marathon, it's not as fast as the mile and the 5,000 and the 10K. So to some extent, you will be comfortable to a certain distance. But if you will have done enough endurance, well and good, it will be a nice race.
Is there any type of race strategy that maybe you want to give away right now on the set? Give us a little heads up.
I think we shall try to run a fast race. I think that will really assist you to maybe go for the course record if possible, or run a faster time.
Now, this is your first competition in New York. You were going to run the New York City Marathon in November. Coming to New York, what's so special about this city? You've been here for a few days. What's the atmosphere like getting ready for this half marathon?
I think New York City is really very good. When I came last year, I was really hoping to do my first marathon in America in the New York Marathon City last year. But despite the fact that it was cancelled, and I feel very much privileged to be invited again to New York to compete in this year's half marathon.
Okay. As far as preparation goes, what kind of preparation have you done to get ready for this race, and what's next for you for the rest of 2013?
I think at the moment I'm really preparing for London Marathon, and coming to compete in this race is really very important because it will really show how the body is responding towards the endurance part and the speed. And with this kind of competition and with this kind of weather, I think it will really give me a way forward on the next marathon.
Is your fitness level, last year you've been this close to the world record in that marathon. Do you feel like you're to the level where you can take it up a notch and break the world record in the marathon?
Yeah, I think this time the preparation is going on very well, and if all goes well this year, I think I'm in a position to try to press it hard for the record.
Well, it sounds like we got guys that are both really fit, and we're both ready to get on that starting line on Sunday.
Now, I don't know if it will be any disadvantage come race day, but I know one of us on the set here is going to be eating some processed sugar tonight and some flour and things. It's your birthday today, correct?
Oh. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Nothing better for a birthday present than to cross that finish line first on Sunday, right?
Yes.
Congratulations. Happy birthday to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Birthday wishes?
Happy birthday, Mr. Kipsang. Thank you.
Have we started the rivalry, or has the rivalry already been here?
Oh, I think this is the beginning right now, I think.
To be continued Sunday morning on race day. To further this conversation of our elite runners in this year's field, David Willey, Editor-in-Chief of Runner's World, thank you so much for coming. This field that we have, 15,000 strong of runners, yes. The elite runners, something special again this year.
It might be the strongest half marathon elite field that we've seen in a long, long time. Half marathon is growing like crazy in running in general, and the elite side is really starting to pick up. We've got a dozen men who've run sub 1:02 in the half marathon in this field on Sunday. It's unbelievable.
It's huge. And also 10 countries being represented. We have Olympians, World Championship medalists. The field is so deep. And when they send me my press kit, to kind of study the elites, it's like a phone book. This is so deep from top to bottom, and it's hard to really pick, because I'm sitting there up all night trying to go, is it going to be Bernard? We do have our 2 favorites that were up here, but it's really narrowing it down to say, man, the race could start and it could be another 15 guys. Right. So it is very, very deep. And again, like you said, sub 12 guys under 102, amazing.
So let's have at it. Why don't you two get into it and tell me what you think. Favorites for this year's race?
I'll let you go first.
It's going to be really close. The two that were up here, obviously, favorites. Dathan's in this race, Abdi's in this race. I'm going to pick Wilson Kipsang. I think it's hard to bet against him, especially since I think, even though it didn't work for him in the Olympics, I think he's going to go out really fast. And I think because this is Bernard's first half marathon, I think he knows that if he tries to match that early fast pace, he could blow up early. So I think going out really fast is going to benefit Wilson in this race. We'll see if he can hold on for 13.1 miles. He couldn't hold on for 26.2 in London, but I think he probably can here on this course.
I think he's wrong.
I thought we were going to get an argument.
Yeah, definitely. Just like last year, but I'm definitely, this year even more so, he's really wrong. So in my opinion, I think Lagat, with the training that he's doing, Abdi Rahman is his training partner. He's been doing long, sustained tempos. And I don't think Bernard would come to New York to put it on the line, because I think there's the bigger picture at stake. I think that's his marathon debut, potentially in the fall. So I think he's coming here to make a statement. And I think if Wilson takes off, you're going to see Bernard jump on his shoulder, not worry about taking the lead, let Wilson, push the pace. And then, there's going to be other guys up there. I mean, Dathan's definitely ready to push the pace. Abdi could potentially be up there. I mean, you look at this list, Resse Chimso, a silver medalist in the world half in the fall, and nobody's even mentioned him. And that was a great effort by him, and he's a sub-hour guy. So, in my opinion, I think Lagat hangs in there all the way through 13.08 miles, makes his kick, and takes the title here in New York.
Yeah, well, there's no question. If he is there at 13 point anything, it's Bernard's race.
There you have it. I think I'm right.
I just don't know if he's going to be there. Is what
And it's a 13.1 mile race. It's not the beginning. It's not the end. You got to run the whole darn thing.
Sure.
And like we've touched on, I think, and when I was running, you'd see a lot of these races, these great races, where there's certain athletes that are not mentioned, and it's tough, because there's 40 great athletes that are going to get on that line. And as you and I saw last year, I had all these index cards of who's going to be up there, and you got all these different.
How many did we use?
2. So you have to be ready. And again, to touch on the point, 12 sub-102s, great international field with 10 countries being represented. My pick's Bernard, but, man, it's going to be a great race.
I got 2 things to add. Thank you for coming. It's such a nice thing to see you every year.
Thanks
this
a lot.
is fantastic.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
And for you, that was the New York City Marathon, the New York City phone book that we sent you. We just wanted to try to get you a little bit. So as you can tell, we are all excited for race day Sunday, the New York City Half Marathon. Joined at the desk once again, Carrie, Carla, Todd. Why should we be so excited for race day?
I'm excited for Bernard Lagat. He's stepping up in distance, and he's going against one of the best fields in the world for the half marathon. So, it's going to be him versus some of the marathoners that, pretty much with Wilson Kipsang, the best marathon in the world. So that battle is going to be something to watch.
Carrie?
Yeah, I like my Americans too. So Dathan Ritzenheim, we can't forget about him. Abdi, it's just going to be a great day on Sunday. But the women, I'm equally excited for. I love Kim Smith. She loves running here. She led the whole way last year, as Mary said. And so it'll be exciting to see her along with Janet Balcom. She was 5th here last year. So we'll have to see if she can come back and better that position.
Carla, final word.
I love watching the pros, but I get especially excited for the thousands of regular runners who are going to be out there on Sunday. We've got New Yorkers, tourists, and even as a New Yorker, running that course going through Times Square is really exciting.
I'm with you on that, because when it's something like this, there are 15,000 individual stories. Then you add the families on top of that. That's why Sunday is such a big day. And tomorrow's a big day as well for us here on the Run. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we will talk about rising American star Janet Balcom. And joining us here on set, Kim Smith. We'll also have the amazing story of Brian Steinauer, who went from recovering from a coma to running in this year's half marathon. So join us in our next episode, Saturday, March 16th, 8 o'clock Eastern, on therun.nyrr.org. And then race day, Sunday, March 17th, from 7 to 9 a.m. on WABC TV, Channel 7 here in town, and 9:30 to 10:30. We continue streaming live at 7online.com in New York. And nationally, you can join us at ESPN3, March 17th, from 7 to 10:30 in the morning. And then the On the Run recap show, Sunday night, March 17th at 8 o'clock, again, on therun.nyrr.org. It is a full weekend of racing, and we are there from start to finish. From the New York City Half Marathon Expo, I'm Rob Powers. We'll see you tomorrow.